What's going on, you guys? This episode is going to be about remembering death because, like, real talk, I've been thinking about a lot, honestly, about how short life really is. Like, we only get like 70, maybe 80 years of life if we're lucky. But the reality is we never know. God is the one who determines that, regardless of how young, how old you are, how in shape you are. Like, that's not a lot of time, bro, like, for real. And we spend so much of it stressing, comparing ourselves, playing it safe, and like always waiting for the right moment. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just feel like when you really realize and sit with that thought of death, like, not in a weird way, but in a real way that like makes you change everything. Because when you realize that your clock is ticking, you start moving different. Yeah, a lot of times when I wake up, I'm just like, damn, what's the possibility that my grave right now is being set up? And maybe today's my last day. And I don't mean to like say that in a way that's hella dark, but you just gotta come to reality that this time is so precious, you feel me? Because you really stop putting your dreams on pause. You start loving deeper, and like, I feel like you start laughing harder and living like you actually mean it. Because I feel like we avoid death like it's some type of taboo, but maybe that's why so many of us feel numb. And when you face death, I feel like you really unlock this new realization of life. And it's kind of like the more aware that you are that all this will end, the more present you become, and the more you start to value the time that you have right now. Honestly, what motivated this podcast was, a brother of mine. Not like my real brother, like my blood brother, but I considered him my brother. His name was Vay. Well, that was his nickname because everybody didn't know how to pronounce his real name. But he was a very humble guy. He leaves behind 2 kids and a wife. And he passed away on Father's Day. And it was really crazy because he was one of the most inspiring people I've ever met in my life. He would always show up to practice. He was like one of our coaches because when I started playing rugby, he was like already playing in college and shit. But he'd always show up to our games, to our practices. Like, no matter where we was, he was always there, like always motivating us and always playing with the kids and always like telling people to like just not to take life for granted, you know what I'm saying? And it was so dumbfounding that him, out of all people, was summoned back home, you know what I mean? So yeah, he kind of motivated this podcast. And yeah, ever since he passed away, I ain't gonna lie, death has been on my mind a lot lately. There's so many instances where there's like someone who I was speaking to, someone who I was cool with, and the next day they're gone. I swear, like, it's like I can't even count it on my fingers anymore of how many people like have come and gone, and in my reality. But I also want to talk about a death experience I had. Like, no lie, like, I was a kid. My family could tell y'all, like, I don't know how old I was. I think I was like 6 or 7. I was fat as fuck. Like, I was Oompa Loompa. Like, but anyways, I was in the swimming pool. My uncles and my brother was in the hot tub, and they were like looking the opposite direction. And I was in 3 feet, just doing my thing, swimming. And I swear, like, something kept on pushing me. And I didn't realize it until it was too late. And all I remember was I was under the water, like trying to get my head above the water and scream. But every time I got my head on top of the water, I would just see them with their back turned, and I was like gargling water, and I couldn't scream and they couldn't hear me. And yeah, so I was drowning, And all I remember was I was fighting like I've never fought ever before. And I was like, man, I wanted air so bad, and I was holding on to like one small pocket of air in my lungs. And yeah, I just remember that nobody was gonna come save me, and that, yeah, this was my time. And I just remember going limp, like everything in my body just like surrendered, and my eyes closed, and I didn't like see anything flash past my eyes, like my family or experiences, anything like that. Like honestly, all I remember was like hallucinations, like not in a weird like, oh, I'm off shrooms type of shit, but like I just saw a lot of colors, and like it was the most peaceful thing I've ever felt in my whole entire life at that time. And I really enjoyed it. Like once I really like stopped fighting with death, the more I realized, like I felt like I was just slowly transitioning into the next world, right? And yeah, I went limp, and I'm just like, damn, this is how I'm gonna go, you know? But yeah, eventually my uncles, they saw me drowning, they jumped in and they grabbed me. It was actually funny. My uncle Hakeem, he was running and he supposedly fell. Like he was supposed to dive into the water, but he fell. And my other uncle named Hamza was the one that dived into the water and saved me. And like I was hella blue. They didn't do CPR or anything. I was just like kind of throwing up water, and I just sat there while they went back to go swim. I was just sitting there like, damn,
I almost died.
That whole experience, to be honest, reminded me that this life is temporary. Like it's like Final Destination. You don't know what the fuck about to happen. Like life really not promised, and we're all on borrowed time. Like I really say that because I want people to really understand that, like, when it finally clicks into your mind, you start moving different. You start having a different look on life, and it's like you're giving these magical glasses that you can't take off once you come to this realization. Because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like you really stop wasting time. You stop waiting for that perfect moment. You stop letting fear and the past and all the failures in your life hold you hostage. It's honestly like the moment I realized that death is only a transition, I realized that this life is just a test, you know, a journey, a mission. And I got hella work to do before it's time to go back home. And hopefully I make it back home, you know. Some people don't believe in heaven or hell, but honestly, I do. And I feel like that's why I am who I am. Because I swear to God, on everything I love, like, God reminds me of death so much. And like I don't have like a personal relationship with God. I'm not saying that I hear him and that like, oh, I see him in my dreams, you know, shit, I wish, you feel me? But I just feel like God always like makes me listen to songs, or like watches, or makes me watch movies, or like opens up podcasts where the conversation is death. And I'm just like, I didn't understand why. Like, and everything that's been going on in Palestine, I've been seeing so many people losing their life. So many people in Kenya, Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia. It's like, and so many other places. I'm not only naming these places. So many other countries are going through so much corruption, and it's unbelievable. But I tap in with this reality because I want to start making my life feel more precious by seeing other people's lives being taken away from them. And hopefully that's not selfish to say.
Selfish.
Yeah, I just feel like all that really made me get more serious about my life and my goals and about my faith and also about my people, you know? And I'm not just talking about my Yemeni people or nothing like that. I'm talking about everybody, regardless of what language you speak and all that. Like, I just really want to make an impact. And I just told myself that I didn't want to leave this world without leaving my mark, you know? Without knowing that I gave it everything I had, everything. Because honestly, like, I think Denzel Washington said this, or it was some motivational speaker, but he said, like, imagine you're on your deathbed and the people around you are the goals and dreams that you never really chased, and they're all looking at you. And that hit me really hard because I know I have so much to offer to this world, but before I can offer anything to this world, I have to like start waking up. You know, I gotta start taking life seriously, because if I want other people to take life seriously, I gotta start with the man in the mirror, you know? this reality made me feel more grateful, makes me feel more present. And it also made me want to wake up more early and like get to it, like doing content, you know. It reminds me that I have a voice, and this voice can spread a message, you know, regardless of how many people hear it, you know. Like, I want to like really inspire people to start forgiving themselves and to forgive those around them, to build something and to really heal, you know. Because I feel like we really out here living like we ain't gonna die. But the truth is, we don't know if we got tomorrow. So if you got to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you so much. And I also want to ask you, like, are you living like you'll be here forever? Or are you moving like death could be knocking at your door right now? So yeah, time is limited and time is valuable. But the most precious thing about all of this is that it's given to you by our Creator. So always be thankful that God is always giving us another opportunity to breathe, giving us another opportunity to give love to those who deserve our love and all that. So I just want to end this video with peace and blessings. And, you know, I really hope that we all change and that life becomes more what life is supposed to be.